Welcome back to the green yard. It's been quite some time since we produced an update video. I know some of the other planting videos that have come out lately were done in the summer, beginning of fall, around that August-September time. Not a whole lot has been filmed since then. I do still have some to release, but a lot of things have been happening in the green yard since that time, and I wanted to go ahead and show you a little update of everything that's been happening and how the green yard is progressing forward. So I'm gonna do a little update on the plants that have been planted, some new plants that are going in the grounds now. It is November 30th, so we do have to start thinking about some potential cold protection as well, and you know, how that's gonna look like and what the green yard is gonna look like moving forward. So let's go ahead and give an update on some of these plants. Here we go. So we're starting over here in our food forest area, our tropical food forest area. Lots of things have happened over here. This has actually been one of the main parts of the green yard that I've been focusing on, which I did mention to you guys previously. One of the main points though is going to be this pond. So we did finally finish the pond, and it is in great shape. You'll notice that did a nice rock border around it. We have a nice waterfall as well. There are some koi fish in there too that are swimming around towards the bottom, and it's helping to create a little bit of a warmer, humid environment over here for some of our tropical plants that we have. Speaking of those tropical plants, we do have our Pakistani mulberry over in the corner here. And we do have our African tulip tree. African tulip tree is very frost sensitive. It has been cold, but luckily not frosting yet. So this tree is still doing well, although you can see a few signs of some cold issues. But it seems to really enjoy its corner over here. And then of course we have our mango and our pineapples, which are still doing great. Pineapples have a little bit of cold damage on the tips here, but not bad at all. And that mango is still just putting out a lot of new growth and doing really, really well. Jabuticaba likes the cold temperature more than the heat temperature, and is putting up a whole bunch of new growth. You can see some new growth here as well as on some of these tips. So even though it looks a little bit brown, that is actually more new growth than it is any of that old growth that it had before. Now, one of the failures, I would like to say, one of the failures is this soursop tree. So soursop tree, it was doing pretty well when I put it in the ground. Since then, it has just declined and declined and declined, and to the point now where it has no leaves. Now, I did do a bark test, scratch test to see it is still alive, and it did go dormant last year at our old house. So there is a potential that it could come back, but I'm not really holding my breath on that one. I don't know, it just didn't like the move when we moved over here. So some things did, some things didn't. I may try some soursop, plant another tree here in the future if this one doesn't pull out, but I'm not losing hope yet. So we'll see what happens. Now over here in the corner, lots of things have taken place. I remember you guys were with me when I planted this loquat. It actually has started to bud out. So first year with the loquat, and you'll notice it actually has some flowers coming out on both of the two stalks that it has here. And it also has some great new growth, new branch growth here and here. So looking at potentially having some loquats this spring, early summer. So really excited about that. Doing great for its first year in the ground. This blue container over in the corner is going to be one of the rainwater collection areas. Still working on building a frame, but it's going to fit here in the corner. collecting the water off the shed roof there. Passion fruit vine has taken over the shed. It's looking really healthy, really good. Actually starting to move around the corner as well, so doing really well. Almost as good as this Michaelia alba. Once again, loving the cooler weather, putting off a lot of new growth on both of its two stalks there. Looking really healthy, really good. No flowers at this point in time, but that's okay. It's happy in its space here. Same with this miracle fruit. There was actually a miracle fruit on here a couple months ago. Unfortunately, some animal beat me to it. Could have been our dogs, could have been another animal, I'm not sure. But this one as well, really happy, putting off a lot of new growth, even as it's starting to cool down, which is really neat. Really surprising, but really good at the same time. So looking forward to continuing to see the growth and the progression over here in the tropical food forest area. Did recently purchase a few additional trees that may work really well in this area too. So working on potentially planting those, finding a space for them. In fact, they are right here. So we have a beautiful jackfruit tree that is going to go in the ground, either over in this food forest area over here, or over along the side here, either by the house or by the sheds, probably over by the house. Also have a beautiful day blooming jasmine. It smells unbelievable. Oh, it smells amazing. So a really beautiful plant there. This is a black sapote, which once again, really beautiful plant. Excited for that one. And this one has produced at the nursery that I purchased all these plants from, Green Life Nursery by Seamus O'Leary. This one did produce, and he actually has a couple plants in stock with fruit on them as well. This one back here is a blackberry jam fruit. Haven't really, heard of good things about it. Excited to try the fruit. Apparently it tastes just like blackberry jam. Now over here we have a couple brand new mangoes as well. This one is a Spirit of 76, which I have not tried, but I've heard that it's really amazing, really good tasting mango. And then this taller guy back here is actually a fruit punch mango as well. That's going to go in the green yard. And then this one, this orange sherbet, is actually for my parents, so it's going to go in their green yard, which is exciting. So there's just a few of the new plants that were recently purchased that need to go in the ground in the green yard. Some will be planted now. A few will be planted in the springtime, like the mangoes and that black sapote. Over here though, on this side, if you remember, we have a rose apple that was putting off a lot of new growth on here. It's loving its spot, really enjoying it, and you can see even some more new growth right here. Same goes for the Gramachama that's over here. Gramachama is putting off a lot of new growth, especially on the bottom. You can see a lot of new growth on here, and it's not grafted, so I went ahead and just left the growth that's coming up. Maybe it'll make some new branches, turn into more of a bush instead of a tree. And then also one thing that you can see on here as well is it's actually starting to produce some little flowers on here too. So I'm excited for it to flower and to get to taste what a Gramachama tastes like. So really excited about that. Moving over here now into the sun, into the main play part of the yard here. Recently bought some rainbow eucalyptus too. My wife was really excited about those when I first mentioned it to her, so we actually got some from Green Life as well. They're looking a little rough right now, which is part of the reason we got them on the sale that we did. But here are our rainbow eucalyptus in the 2 15-gallon pots. And even though they look a little rough, they do have a lot of new growth on them, on both of them. So it's definitely promising looking for them to come, you know, produce well and grow and create some really nice shade for the green yard. So one of the things that the green yard that we've been working on in the green yard is we've actually been doing some remodeling to our house, which isn't exactly part of the yard, but it is really important. So we went ahead and we remodeled our Arizona room, which happened to have a leak in it. And so we went ahead and remodeled that. So you may see some construction debris while we go through this that will be removed here in the next couple months when they finish that construction of that remodeled Arizona room. The Jamaican cherry doing amazing over here. Really, really, really loving its space. It's growing almost 3 feet since I planted it when we moved in the beginning of June. Actually, I'm sorry, the end of June. So it is just absolutely loving its space. Really loving being where it is. I've gotten a bunch of Jamaican cherries off of it this year. In fact, here's one right here. Really beautiful Jamaican cherry, and another one right here as well over in this corner here. So really beautiful. I will definitely be trying some Jamaican cherry on camera as soon as they become ripe again there. Over here as well, you can see the fig tree doing really well, about to have a ripe fig here, which is really exciting. Actually, it might already be ripe. Ooh, or there's a spider in there. Well, we'll play with that here in a little bit. Barbados cherry doing well too. I did see some flowers on it, but they did not hold there. And then we did plant as well a this is a finger lime. I had one before, as I mentioned. It didn't quite survive the move, but if you look, there are some really, really beautiful flowers on here too. Over here is the construction debris, which I know you can see on there. Like I mentioned before, it will be removed, as well as this huge pile of debris that will be taken out with major pickup. These are our Hong Kong orchid trees for shade in this area. We actually have 3 of them. So we have one over there, and then we have a little tiny guy right over here. All 3 are doing really, really well and growing exponentially since I planted them. So looking really good in terms of the Hong Kong orchid there too. So now we're gonna move over by where that construction has been happening. Our bananas are still pretty much the same. Not a whole lot has changed for those bananas. They've grown a tiny, tiny bit. Nothing really to write home about for those bananas. But one that I do want to show you is the monkey pod. Monkey pod is over here. You can see it has grown exponentially. It is huge. When we got it, it was down right around here. It's grown almost 2 to 3 feet since we bought it, which is only 3 months ago at the most. So it's going to end up growing up and shading this entire area here. And then of course we have the gazebo that's going to be against the house over there as well, so providing some really great shade. And then one of the other plants that's really exciting too is this hibiscus. It's a mystery hibiscus, and it ended up, you know, looking really sickly at the beginning, and now it's just taken off. So really excited to see what color flowers it produces and how it continues to grow. So that's really what's been going on in the green yard. Lots of changes to a couple sections of our yard, as well as to our house with that remodel. So busy, lots of things going on. Of course, as it gets to winter, now that it is November 30th, almost the beginning of December, starting to have to think about covering up some plants as well. May do a couple videos on how to cover up those plants. Fortunately, I've created a microclimate that should be okay, where I don't have to cover up my plants if I don't want to, which is really good. The only reason I would cover them up is because they are in their first year being in the ground, and that first year is definitely harder for plants. So as always, stay green, plant lots, and of course, have fun.